must have been. That's why he saw in the door from Nashi. Look at this group of people in the back of that. Oh, just a storehouse. It's really irritating to have graffiti on a who knows what in open. This time. I'll take care of it immediately. He was squatting and trying to shut it and lock it. And he lifted it up with all his strength. Pushing the walls was only from the inner shape. The wide on the shutter began to get sucked in and through the top of the shutter as it was. At least for the time being, the ominous drawing disappeared and the blood blazes with all through the side of the leaf. Thanks to the kids program that came across, Mario was feeling much better. Batter and Jessica were poking fun on how the kids show every turn and chuckling together. George was enjoying the program with him more from his perspective. Andrew sat over the stove by himself, passing time, reading quietly. They heard hurried footsteps coming from the hallway. They were the footsteps of a single person. Did that mean it wasn't just a group of four? Did that mean it wasn't just a group of four that had just left? It was Genji. It was very well for Genji, who considered being out of breath was a violation of the servant virtues to be gasping for air. Probably came dashing back from outside the mansion. His shoulders were soaking wet. He didn't have his usual trim appearance. When Genji noticed Nanjo looking at him, he gave a small, silent bow and quickly approached him. Dr. Nanjo, my apologies. Please come with me quickly. What is the matter? As Genji whispered something into Nanjo's ear, Nanjo went pale. He was on the sofa trying to not be noticed by the children who were still engrossed in TV, and the two of them rapidly left the parlor, muffling their footsteps. As they were about to exit the parlor, they came across Nashi, who had been pushing the civic car with the tea set. Genji whispered something in Nashi's ear. Nashi went pale too from the impaired shock. Then, leaving the servant car where it was, the three of them dashed towards the entrance. George noticed them running down the walls quietly through the window. What is that? Isn't that Genji summoning Dr. Nanjo? And that was Aunt Nashi, isn't it? Please! Who's up, Black? Maybe something happened. They looked terribly flustered. And just got Moria saw that Evo, Hayushi, and Nanjo were no longer in their seats, and the servant car was banned to the inches of the parlor. They also looked like something was the matter. Could they having some kind of accident? Let's check though. Check it out. It's no fun we're the only ones left out, right? For some reason, when battlers sound extremely indiscreet, but they couldn't deny that they were a little insecure and concerned after they both ran out into the lane without any regards for appearance. Let's go and check it out, okay? Whoa! I'm gonna get those still play the wig. We still haven't even seen the wig. Like, people going on about reviving the witch, we still haven't seen it. Oh, are they gonna get voted? I wonder if something might have happened. Jessica's uneasy will explode her aura. Hey Mario, are you coming too? Or will you watch the TV? Ooh, I wanna watch TV. Ooh. Let's go without her. Oh, Chin, we will be back soon. You keep watching TV, okay? Ooh. Yeah, come over here. By the time the kids made it outside, the adults were no longer in sight. But Jessica seemed to have a pretty idea of where they've gone, judging by the direction they were running. Following Jessica, we ran through the wind-soaked rose garden. The wind seemed to suddenly get stronger. The malicious sound of thunder began to rumble like it had in the previous night. It felt like an eerie something had been surrounding the island and was trying to stop us from moving forward. No! Jessica, is this some over this way? Pretty sure that's the shed for the garden materials or something. How in the world could be going in a place like that? Just as Jessica had said, they had begun to see the storehouse in front of them. They also see the adults. They shuddered to the storehouse was open and several adults looked like they were searching for something. The sun wasn't even naturally outside this way. Without even an umbrella. The first looked like she was hanging her head and her back were facing them. There were Genji, Nandra, and Nashi who were just left in mansion. The ones who left holding up, Hana, Ava, and Hayashi were also there, making a small crowd of people. But there was absolutely no bustle of activity. And now she realized the children were approaching her with terrible expressions to her face. She ran at them with arms spread wide. You mustn't come any closer! Whoa! Go back to the mansion! But despite that, no! Because of that, the kids saw the scene Nashi was trying to keep them from. Inside the storehouse with the shutter wide open and a faint fluorescent light stored down. And right there was somebody got guns! Jessica's piercing shriek wagged out, but that was only just because Jessica's scream was the loudest. The same thing spilled out of Battler and George's mouths as well. Eva spread her arms just like Nashi, rolling the kids with a bold, chilling expression on her face. George, take everyone and return to the mansion, quickly, right now. When Nashi spread her arms, I thought she was just trying to prevent us from advancing further. But that wasn't why Ava was spreading her arms right now. She was trying to stop the kids from seeing that terrible scene. It was her mother's heart trying to protect the eyes of the children by blocking the view of a terrible scene at least the width of her arms. Is this some kind of joke? Is this some kind of joke, isn't it? I've seen this cheap scene all too often. In manga, television, anime, and movies. I've seen it over and over again. This was just something that appeared in real life that I've pretty much seen many times before in those sensational movies, right? That alone shouldn't... that suit! That old bastard, isn't it? I get it. And that's Uncle Brad. And Gilly said, Aunt Rosa. Dad! You mustn't, Jessica. You mustn't go in. You mustn't look. Dad. Oh my God. Okay, what the fuck? This is... Gotta say it because this is some real shit now. People just died. This is Hokawashi, so they're not really gonna be... for them to do something like this? The devil. This has to be the work of the devil. You don't even see their bodies. Okay, so who's the people that died? Well, first of all, we know this guy is still alive. This guy is still alive. 1, 2, 3. We haven't seen these suits yet. We haven't seen her. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him. Are all of these guys? Are all of these people dead? Dude, this guy's dead. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. Oh, now she caught Jessica in her arms. Oh, Ava caught her action. So I was the only one who can approach the entrance to the store. If only there had been something to catch me to. I wouldn't have needed to see this horrible evil scene coming into my eyes. No, that's not it. It isn't that there's no one to catch me. The people who should catch me, like, they're right there, aren't they? Whoa! 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 Just as Jessica said, it didn't look like a storehouse for gardening tools. A lawnmower with extra blades, a glass sickle with a hay, and some proprietary tools such as a saw, pineapple plants, and a bag of fertilizer. Treated as just the same, the corpses of several people had laid waste there. No, had been tossed in there. I could tell just by their clothes. Yeah. And umineko was the first thing that really was taken to decide if something was wrong with it or not. It's probably at the point when Kendra was starting to cast a spell, or saying all the Beatrice talk. So yeah. Uncle Quass, Auntie Rosa, Old Bastard, Kiri-san, Uncle Quass, and Ota Rosa. Beyond that, gonna find. There's still more of them. Old Bastard, Kiri-san, Uncle Quass, Auntie Rosa. Glendstone. How many people died? You fucking kidding me? That is more than I can count on my band. Damn it! I didn't know whether or not I had been one of these. The intended purpose was to definitely knew that he could be. Look at this music though! God damn! Or whether some horrible tool had been brought here. And he was specifically for this. Anyway, each of the bodies were jammed in here and had been given an atrocious makeup. It wasn't a makeup at all, it was more like their faces had been plowed. Their faces were smashed, forced expressions that normal people could not make even after death. I couldn't tell whether the eyes and noses were right in front of their mouths. Because their gaping minds, their gums exposed. What the fuck did this? What the? But their front teeth were missing, and even their cheeks should have been covered all this time with torn up and laid bare. That trendy makeup you always spend so much time on, even though you, a man isn't doing it, a thing now? I always thought you were going to hell, but still not like this, right? You were such a son of a bitch that you were such a son of a bitch that you would suffer such brutality. And Kiwi said, didn't I tell you to stop going out with this guy? There was absolutely no reason for you to end like this too. They've got no faces, no faces. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Ah! Battle son, you mustn't look no more. There was no way your mother and your father would want you to see them like this. For their sakes, you mustn't look anymore. Dead people are supposed to have faces looking like they sleep peacefully, right? They got no faces. My dad and Kiwi said I have no faces. I don't even know what kind of faces they were wearing when they died. What's wrong with me? I will have to see this smash like motherfuckers every time we remember them. That's just great. I didn't want to remember that old bastard swag face anyway. Just great, just great. Bro's having a mental attack. It makes sense though. What the fuck? Bro, they should have actually showed us the picture. That's the big fuck up of this game version I'm playing. They should have showed us the face. I need to see their faces, guys. What the frick did they look like? So why even Kiwi says face? Kiwi said, was it a cook? Sure, she took me off a bit now and then, but she was a cool big sister to me. Oh! Oh my god! What the fuck? Yo. Dude, in red! His corpse was found outside the Rose Garden. This is the what caused the death was unknown, but it seems the side of his head was smashed after his death. His corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seems to be smashed after death. He has right to amend his ill fortune. Her corpse is found outside the Rose Garden in the storehouse. Her face had been smashed after death. She was chosen by the demon's ruler. Her corpse is found outside of the Rose Garden storehouse. Her face seems to be smashed after death. I get to see her again so I don't feel lonely. His corpse is found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seems to have been smashed before death. How unfortunate. He was originally supposed to be on duty in the guest house. They went out the... Whoa! Shit is getting real. This is wrong. This is all wrong. At least Uncle Class has it better, doesn't he? It's not like his whole face just that side. At least he got half his face, right? That's still better. That's still better. No! Jessica filled her ears with the sound of her screaming, trying to shut out my reckless words. Stop it, Battlecoon. Just stop it. Just stop it. Aki. Disregarding age and appearance, I fell to my knees clinging to Aki's wrists and sobbing. As if I was finally on behalf of everyone there. Representing the feelings of everyone there, I screamed over and over. Father. One's laying dead or lying over there. Uncle Class, Uncle Rudolph, and Aunt Kiwi. Just those 5, right? No. There's 6 people. There's one more person over here! Bro. The body that Hayashi was looking down happened to be hidden amongst the shadows in the mountain of a range of objects, in the blind spot to George, who stood by the entrance. So George couldn't tell whose body it was. So George cursed himself. He cursed the fact that the worst guesses always turn out to be right. So, the one is lying on your feet is Shion, isn't it? Yes. It's Shion. Oh my god, no, he's gonna crash out. No, he is going to crash out. Bro! He already crying. George felt completely silent. He shook slightly, his lower lip trembling. Normally he would have wanted to run to his beloved body screaming and crying. However, before actually running forward, he worked his composure and asked his father, "Is Shion the same as Uncle Class and the others?" Hayashi deeply understood the meaning of those words. He couldn't give George an immediate answer, or rather, he felt silence was the only severe, loving response he could give George right now. When George asked if Shion was the same, he was meant to ask whether her corpse was the same condition as the others or not. Since Hayashi hadn't denied it, it means her corpse is in the same brutal state. Can I look at Shion? Bro, okay. No, you can't. Why not? After all, I won't be able to see Shion's face again, right? But why won't you let me see what her face looked like in the end? The last time you met Shion-chan was yesterday, right? Yes? I see. When you left her, what kind of face was she showing you? It was a wonderful smile. He had handed over. After he handed her the ring, she hesitated, even though she must have already made up her mind. Then she looked bashful and ran away because she was embarrassed to let him see her face look like. That's the expression that was revived in George's mind. I see. I'm sure that Shion-chan would have wanted to leave you with that smile in her memory. Like they say that this was gonna be the easy route and y'all gotta take a peaceful tour, but I'm like, damn. To be fair, does it get any more difficult? And like, how does it get more difficult? I actually looked down at Shion-chan's body lying at his feet. Just like the other bodies, it was in such a horrible state that would make anyone cover their eyes. Her head had been smashed from the side. No more than half her expression remained. If the remaining blood soaked half of her expression had been wiped clean, then that would give that graceful smile that was peeked out, but only half of it. Without thinking, Hayashi slapped his hands all over his eyes. How brutal. Her face was gonna get crushed anyway, but only if all of it had been crushed. It might have been able to temporarily distract George from his pain by making a pathetic suggestion that was someone else's wearing Shion's clothes. But half her face had been left untouched. What the fuck? Who the fuck killed her? And who the fuck decided, oh yeah, we're not gonna mess with... We're only gonna just like take off half your face. Because they died, but their bodies were mangled after they died. The witch didn't mangle their bodies and that wasn't the reason why they died. They died to something else and then the witch or somebody else mangled them. Bro, that's some demon ass behavior. Don't worry. It seems the side of her head was smashed after her death. Don't worry. Everyone will be revived at the Golden Land! It caused the body so much mutilation while still proving beyond a doubt that the body was Shion's and no one else's. How inhuman, how brutish. Ah! Bro! Bro! You're not ready for this, cuz! Bro, I'm gonna have to pause the video right now. You're not ready for this, cuz! And there, trying his best to burn the image of the remaining half of Shion's expression into his eyes as she laid at Hayashi's feet, was Kanon. Kanon was not crying. Tears had risen to his eyes, but they did not drip down. But that didn't mean he wasn't feeling as much sadness as everyone else. Losing Shion, who had lived with him in the same orphanage, who he had loved as his sister, must have been just as losing a blood relative. George, I'm sure Shion-chan is saying thank you. You must be glad you didn't end up seeing her in such a pitiful state, I'm sure. She's thanking you for holding strong and showing restraint. I understand, Father, I understand. George leaned against the wall of the storehouse, clutching down limply. Father, I have a request. What is it? I want you to look for me. Is there a ring on Shion's finger? A ring? Let me see. Tadayoshi crouched down. As he did, Kara says, silently point out one of Shion's hands. Yeah, there it is. A diamond ring. That's a valuable diamond. Must have been pretty expensive. And which hand was the finger it is on? The ring finger on her left hand. I see. So Shion-chan was engaged. George, don't tell me you give up. It doesn't matter now. A man who made a lifelong promise to Shion-chan. A man who promised her happiness for life. Who that man isn't the issue here. Being told that by a man is a woman's dream, isn't it? I don't know when she received this ring, but I also don't know who gave it to her. However, even so, Shion-chan took this ring. Then she accepted it and put it on her left ring finger. I'm sure the man who gave it to her was also happy. To most people there, Hayashi was simply disturbed by this extraordinary situation and was blurting out nonsense. However, to someone who knew of George and Shion's true relationship, would understand the full meaning of those words. I see. Thank you, Father. They keep saying, they said take a west. Bro! Which? Beatrice! You said took a west! George stood up, the traces of the tears still streaking his face, but his expression would turn to his usual calm one. Let's go. Batler-kun, Jessica-kun. If we stay any longer, we'll get in the way of the adults. Sniff. You're right. Jessica sniffed once, showing her face to her mother who hadn't been holding her the whole time, to know that she was okay now. When she faced George again, she once again had her usual expression, although she couldn't smile. Battler, hang in there. Battler kept clutching in front of his parents' bodies. I'm sorry. Crying like hell calmed me down. Bastard Dad. I bet you were laughing at me for all the shit I talked about you. I'm crying like a baby cause you died. Well, so what? I guess I got the gene that made you cry when your parents kicked the bucket. Battler's face is still bright red from the tears, but he has at least will cover enough to fake a smile, if only a bitter one. Kanan, you mustn't remain here any longer either. Take the children and return to the mansion. Nazi had been standing under the rain, unable to take a step from the storehouse. Maybe she was her own way of weeding this away from battlers, realizing that she had taken the world of the responsibility now that her husband is dead. She gave Kanan those orders. Yes, madam. Kanan rose silently and turned to face me. His face was pure white, almost as his own heart died along with Shihun, and there was no life to his expression. On an ordinary day, if he had been told to guard the children through the rose garden, Kanan might have leaped away. But now there was no distinction between Kanan and the children. They were now just kids of the same age suffering the pain of losing those close to them. After making sure the children were leaving, now she started giving orders to Genji. Genji? Contacted the police immediately. He probably won't come until the typhoon passes, but it should be able to tell us what to do next. Understood. It was an emergency radio that I would use to contact them. When she heard that, now she remembered. That's right, the phones were out today, weren't they? However, they also had a radio, so they couldn't necessarily rely on phones all the time while living on an isolated island. At any rate, they should start by contacting the police and receiving their instructions. Everything else could wait. Dr. Nandro, is there anything more you can do here? Unfortunately, there isn't any. There was nothing I can do. Understood. Genji, could you at least cover their faces with some? Exposing them like this is humiliating to them as well. Yes, madam. Genji picked up several dried towels inside the storehouse, and when Ava stopped him with a shrill voice, wait a second. This is the scene of the crime, isn't it? Then we mustn't disturb it. We panicked and walked all the way here with our shoes on, but we made sure to get away in the police's investigation. I should glance at what offended. Objectively speaking, Ava was right. Even so, she glanced at Ava as a thought of accusing her to refuse to deal with those tragic corpses which had been humiliated after death. The simple kindness of covering their faces. However, Ava spoken both calmly and correctly. This horrible situation definitely wasn't an accident. It was a crime. Someone had killed them. It was a murder case. So they needed to be careful to avoid disturbing the site any further. They had to do what little they could to aid the police in preserving the clues that might help catch the detestable culprit. I agree with Ava-san. Until the police come, we should leave everything be. Do you see, madam? You're right. Very well. Close it up. Which is the case, we should put a different lock on it. Different lock? Yes. When it came here, the shutter was locked. That means the culprit used the key to the shutter to lock it. That makes sense. So does that mean the key that opens the shutter will also have the culprit's fingerprint on it? I'm sure it would be worth submitting to the police as evidence. Connor can usually have it, so when he uses it to unlock the shutter just now, he'd probably have Connor's fingerprint on it, like he was handed to Genji-sama just now when he took it with his bare hands. It doesn't look like it'd be very useful as evidence. That was careless of me. My apologies. Genji-san. Are there any other keys in the storehouse? No, only this one. So the culprit walked out of the servant room with that key. It was nice enough to return the key where they found it. Algae's theory sounded plausible, but it was very strange to think about. Why did they go out of their trouble to return the key they stole? No, if you think about it even more deeply, there are some points that are even more bizarre. When the criminal hides the body, they usually try and deny a point in which it would be found, so they can use that time to escape. Yeah, that's true. First, the first bizarre thing is that they're just kind of there. All of them killed. The key was returned. Why the six weren't necessarily killed here, but it was reasonable to assume that they killed someone on the island, carried to the storehouse, and hidden to delay the discovery of this crime. And yet the eerie magic circle scribbled on the house falling shadow had it quietly indicated the location of the hidden corpses. Sure didn't expressly mention the corpses, but 6 people had gone missing. In that situation, someone made an obvious piece of graffiti and returned to the key to the shutter. All as though they wanted the corpses here to be discovered. They did. They did. They did! That's dangerous. Anyway, we can't put all the faith in that lock. In a lock that the culprit has opened before. If we want to protect this place from the culprit's hands, we should put a new lock on it. I think that's a good plan. I agree. Get your fishing wands inside the storehouse and unseal the brand new padlock that has been inside a small box. What should I do with the key? I will take it. I'll take responsibility and hand it over to the police. I actually took the key to the padlock from Genji's hand. They are exiled and lowered to the shutter. And so the corpses again were sealed behind the shutter, which was still covered by that creepy magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter to fasten the new pattern lock. Shutters often have a place where you can attach your own lock in addition to the main lock of the shutter. This is one of those types. In the midst of the warp of thunder and the purring of the wind, the storehouse stood there ominously. With the closed shutter still covered in the blood-like creepy substance, it swallowed up the bodies of the 6. So yeah, I think they chose sacrifices. And I'm pretty sure they killed in such a gruesome manner as a way of painting their blood on the floor. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they killed 6 people and decided to do it in a gruesome manner. I don't know why 2 of the people only got half their faces annihilated though. And actually putting on a new lock wasn't mainly to preserve the scene from the police. It might feel like she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity, to prevent that eerie recent song of any victim. Well, let's go everyone. Nothing larger, thank you very much for your work. And you hurry up and contact with the police. I will do this as soon as I return. And those left the storehouse. The ghostly magic circle that was drawn on the shutter kept the 6 bodies in the store, bleeding evenly as the lightning casually lit up. All can be sound is sound of rain. All that could be heard is the sound of the rain and the voices from the kids program Mario was watching, and the ghost Mario's cackling voice. In other words, what greeted them as they returned was a dumbfounded and a horrible, bizarre scene. It was the voice of Mario as she rolled around laughing at the TV. Those who had returned to the room didn't know how to explain to Mario that her mother was dead. They were trapped by a suffocating silence. First Mario returned their stares with a dubious look. Then when she realized they weren't trying to blame her for anything, she ignored them again and immersed herself in the TV program. The children wordlessly sat down on the heavy circle. Their minds were probably blank from their state of shock. Everyone had already cried and mourned so much. But now they just vague unsetting as their faces seemingly had lost all emotion. Only Kanaka returned to his usual calm expression. However, that probably didn't mean he was able to wipe off the shock. Nothing was reflecting in his eyes as he stared into an empty space. Aisha kept on fidgeting on, and every time he learned that horrible scene, he stared, muttering about how he couldn't believe in it, how he couldn't be someone from this world. It must have been the work of demons. Every now and then his mother was deceived by a question directed at Nanjo, but the latter kept repeating in a calm, doctor-like manner that nothing could be understood by only glancing at the scene, and until the police arrived they wouldn't learn anything. However, Nanjo was only calm next to Aishi, who seemed to place his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo also received a huge shock, so his face was deathly pale. And that atmosphere was why she tried to wait through the shot when he took it. How she appeared unchanged from her normal attitude. She briskly gave directions. I will go see Father. Yiji, quickly contact the police. Certainly. I wonder if you allowed me to tag on Nashi-Nissan. Since class Nissan is gone, the task of getting Father has been left to me. It would be improper of me to relax here without relying entirely on him. Nashi was struck by his question that he was supposed to leave in a situation like this. It seemed she was claiming that with class dead, the only one to take responsibility shouldn't be his wife, but herself and the next highly ranked in that family. Or maybe she really hadn't been happy at all when she took him out without reference to her in such an extreme situation. However, in Ava's mind wouldn't break from the shock until a moment ago. She only came to her senses after now she started giving orders. Just do what as you like. Now she started walking without saying a word more. Ava followed behind her. As did comments of awareness of the parlor. She usually wasn't the kind of person to when I went under normal conditions, so most people would have taken her entrances as a sign of something was the matter. But because everyone was still stricken with shock, they hardly even noticed her. Madam? If you're looking for Nashi-Nisa and she went to Father, she probably will be back soon. What happened, Thomason? You see, in the dining hall there was blood! Blood! The ears of everyone in the parlor twitched. Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. Any condition can only hold so much, and no one here could captivate the handling another one's tragedy. So they all thought, I hope I misheard that. What happened in the dining hall? When I went to the dining hall to set up for breakfast. The first one to start running was George. They saw his footsteps jogged Hayashi and Nanjo to their senses and they chased after him. Battler and the others followed. They flew into the dining hall one after another, but they didn't find any chance that might have caused Kamala to go pale. Those who had viewed the crimson scene in the storehouse is a bit of an anticlimactic. But to Kamala, who had followed them, pointed out, there really was some traces of blood remaining on the floor. Compared to that terrible scene, it wasn't very impressive. However, if you calmly think about it, this is definitely indicated the loss of a lot of blood. There was another puddle of blood here. What in the world? It appears that a great deal of time has passed. It's probably safe to say that they were killed here last night. It definitely looks that way. We were talking together in the dining hall until late into the night. After that, someone must have forced their way in. Dad, when did you and Mom slip out of the meeting to go to sleep? It was a little past midnight, so we probably should assume it happened after that. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. My lady, please stay strong. I've been seeing that hell on earth, and the storehouse is nothing. Really good for you. I feel like my head gonna explode. This is the dining hall, right? Every day we're eating, complaining about school, complaining about homework, talk about my dad about grades. This is what this place is to me. A lady. Wouldn't be good to remain here any longer. Sad. Let's return to the Papa. I agree. Uncle Hiroshi, I think this one would be really important to the police. Don't you think it would be bad if we trampled all over it? Tyler proposed in a slightly firm voice as along with Connor, he grabbed onto the pale shaking Jessica's shoulders. Everything was just as Battler said. There was no more to gain from remaining in this room. Roger spoke while looking at everyone's pale faces. Even though the horrible scene in the storehouse felt like something not out of this world, at least to them they were able to leave, to cut ourselves from the place and run away. Everyone shared that feeling. However, this dining hall was different. It was in the mansion, the main building on the estate, and as Jessica had said it should have been one of the more calming places inside the mansion. It was where all the relatives had eaten lunch last day. The shock of seeing the place smeared with blood reminded us of the horrible spectacle in the storehouse. It forced us to accept that we really haven't been able to run away from the scene of the tragedy. I agree too. The culprit might have left traces in this room. Amateurs like us shouldn't stir the place alone. Let's leave quickly. 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 Would you understand the meaning of what Madeline had said and push everyone to hurry out of the dining hall? The way we were then, looking at their blood any longer would have been too harsh. Nobody went against those words. Everybody raced to each other out of the dining hall. It was almost as though the last person in the room would be trapped here all alone. Once in the hallway, we landed. Kamaza was still trembling and leaning against the wall, and we all headed back to the parlor together.